Imagine this. It's a lazy weekend and you decide to revisit an old cartoon you loved as a kid because, let's face it, few things feel as comforting as a dose of nostalgia. But then, disaster. The jokes haven't aged well, the animation feels clunky, and the magic is just gone. Don't worry, we've got your back. Here's a list of 25 classic cartoons that have stood the test of time. Whether you're rewatching or discovering them for the first time, these shows still pack all the charm they did back when they first aired. Also, hey, welcome back to Marvelous Videos. If you haven't subscribed already, now's the time, because the ride's about to begin. X-Men, the animated series. In 1989, Marvel Comics took a shot at television fame with an animated show, producing a pilot titled X-Men: Pride of the X-Men. Unfortunately, it wasn't picked up. However, they tried again in 1992, which led to the launch of the hugely popular X-Men, the animated series. Directed by Larry Houston, the show gained such a massive following that although it was originally planned for 65 episodes, 11 more were added, even as Marvel faced bankruptcy. The series featured notable voice actors like Allison Court, Iona Morris, Tony Daniels, and Chris Potter. It followed the adventures of Storm, Gambit, Jubilee, Jean Grey, Wolverine, Rogue, Beast, Cyclops, and Professor Charles Xavier. Airing from 1992 to 97, the show boldly addressed several sensitive topics, including serious geopolitical issues like the Holocaust and the AIDS crisis, as well as social issues like divorce, religion, and loneliness. Thanks to its enduring popularity, X-Men the animated series was revived by Disney Plus as X-Men 97, which premiered on March 20th, 2024. With gripping plots, well-rounded characters, and some unbelievable action, X-Men the animated series is a classic you don't want to miss. Batman, the animated series. The groundbreaking show, Batman the animated series, was produced by Warner Bros. Animation and created by Bruce W. Timm and Eric Radomski. As you might have guessed, the show follows billionaire Bruce Wayne and his alter ego, the Caped Crusader Batman, voiced by the iconic Kevin Conroy, as he fights crime in Gotham City. He's often joined by Dick Grayson, his loyal sidekick, who adopts the persona of Robin, voiced by Lauren Lester. The show adapted classic Batman comics and portrayed them through a neo-noir lens. Though by today's standards it might be considered too dark and violent for kids, Batman the animated series does a great job at handling issues like prison abuse, insurance fraud, homelessness, and class prejudice. Later rebranded as Batman and Robin, the animated series won a Daytime Emmy and a Primetime Emmy for Outstanding Writing in an Animated Program in 1993, as well as Daytime Emmys for Outstanding Sound Editing, Music Direction, and Composition in 1996. It was inducted into the Television Hall of Fame in 2019, so it comes as no shock that critics fawned over the show. Fans were also equally impressed by its mature and well-written plots.
Just in time for the holidays.
Family Guy. Since 1999, Family Guy has been airing the dirty laundry of the Griffins, a dysfunctional family living in the fictional city of Quahog, Rhode Island. The Griffin family consists of the bumbling and clumsy Peter, his wife Lois, who comes from the wealthy Pewterschmidt family, their awkward, talentless teenage son Chris, their often ridiculed daughter Meg, and their diabolical and villainous infant Stewie, as well as their anthropomorphic talking dog Brian. Seth MacFarlane, the creator of the show, also voices Peter, Brian, Stewie, and the Griffin's neighbor Glenn Quagmire. With 23 seasons so far, Family Guy is known for its blue humor or ribaldry. For the uninitiated, ribaldry is a form of comedy that uses expletives and sexual innuendos to comment on taboo topics. This nasty but humorous series doesn't shy away from tackling trending issues and is chock full of pop culture references. The series has won 8 Emmy Awards and was the first animated program to be nominated in the Outstanding Comedy category. The show isn't without critics though, as many consider it a ripoff of The Simpsons format with bad language, but fans of the show have a different opinion. They believe Family Guy has the guts to say things that other shows might hesitate to do. Now, whether Family Guy is a brave and bold commentary on modern society or a pointless show filled with nasty humor, but let us know your thoughts in the comments down below.
Transform!
The Transformers. Based on the Transformers storyline created by Hasbro and Takara, The Transformers was the first animated show in the franchise, airing from 1984 to 87. Very simply, the show is about the war between the Autobots, led by the heroic Optimus Prime, and the Decepticons, led by the evil Megatron. The warring giant robots leave their homeworld, Cybertron, to find resources on Earth. While the Decepticons plunder the planet, it's up to the Autobots, helped by Sparkplug and Spike Witwicky, a human father-son duo, to protect their new home. Known in Japan as Fight, Super Robot Lifeform Transformers, the show ran for 4 seasons. Arguably one of the most influential series of the 1980s, the Transformers was brought to life by wonderful animation and a spectacular voice cast. Peter Cullen, the voice of Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh and the titular creature in Predator, voiced Optimus Prime, while Frank Welker, the voice of Fred Jones and Scooby-Doo, voiced the villainous Megatron. The campy storylines, combined with cool action sequences, are sure to give you a blast of nostalgia. Spider-Man, the animated series. Set in the same universe as X-Men, the animated series, this show, featuring your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, aired from 1994 to 1998. This show is chock full of origins and references to the vast Spider-Man mythos, and a lot of these themes were repurposed and recycled for Into the Spider-Verse. Just check out the finale of this series if you don't believe me. This show begins as all Spidey stories do, with the nerdy Peter Parker being bitten by a radioactive spider, transforming him into the teenage superhero Spider-Man. Not only does poor Spidey have to battle the likes of Dr. Octopus, Kingpin, and Hobgoblin, he also has to juggle his grades at Empire State University, his love life with Mary Jane Watson and Felicia Hardy, and his job as a photographer for the Daily Bugle. To top it all off, his boss is the loud-mouthed J. Jonah Jameson, a man who harbors nothing but hatred for Spider-Man. Fans appreciated how faithful the show was to the original comics by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko, especially in portraying Peter's struggle to balance his real life and his life as a superhero. It's no surprise that soon after its premiere, the series became the highest-rated children's show in America. Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Scooby-Doo is arguably the most recognizable cartoon dog, and all of his adventures started with this show. Teenagers Daphne Blake, Velma Dinkley, Fred Jones, and Shaggy Rogers travel across America, solving mysteries with their Great Dane Scooby-Doo in their green van, aptly named the Mystery Machine. Almost always, the mystery ends up being a human in disguise exploiting a local myth or legend, so don't worry if the eerie tunes spook you. It's almost always a crafty thief rather than something supernatural. Producers William Hanna and Joseph Barbera created Scooby-Doo Where Are You? In response to parents' concerns about the violence in superhero cartoons. Originally titled Who's Scared and The Mysteries 5, the series was developed by Joe Ruby and Ken Spears. Their ingenious creation earned the 24th spot in IGN's Top 100 Animated Series and the 49th position on UK network Channel 4's 100 Greatest Cartoons. A hit for CBS, Scooby-Doo Where Are You? Inspired many similar shows like Goober and the Ghost Chasers, Captain Caveman and the Teen Angels, and The New Shmoo. A timeless classic, this one's packed with laughs and memorable lines.
Nice flying weather, ain't it?
The Flintstones. Another hit from William Hanna and Joseph Barbera, The Flintstones is a Stone Age sitcom about the titular family consisting of Fred and Wilma, their baby girl Pebbles, and their pet dinosaur Dino. Until the arrival of The Simpsons, The Flintstones reigned as America's most financially successful and longest-running network animated series for 3 decades. Inspired by classic comedies like The Honeymooners, the show explores everyday struggles through a prehistoric lens. A brilliant mix of visual and verbal humor, The Flintstones was ranked the 2nd greatest TV cartoon of all time. When it premiered in 1960, critics were skeptical, some even calling it a disaster, but it soon won over audiences. In 1961, it made history by becoming the first animated show to be nominated for a Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Comedy Series. If you're unsure whether it's aged well, don't just take our word for it. Animation historians and critics widely consider The Flintstones a gem of the golden age of American animation. As the first animated series to air during primetime, it also paved the way for the adult-oriented cartoons we know and love today. So, if you've been wondering whether or not to watch The Flintstones, we urge you to yabba dabba do it. The Powerpuff Girls. Professor Utonium, a gifted scientist, wants to create the perfect little girl. So, He mixes sugar, spice, and everything nice. But things take a surprising turn when the mysterious Chemical X falls into the cauldron, and out pops 3 super girls. Blossom, the leader, Bubbles, the sweet one, and Buttercup, the toughest. The timing couldn't be better, as the mayor needs their help protecting Townsville from a host of villains. Together, the sisters battle evil while also facing regular kid problems like losing baby teeth, bedwetting, and being too attached to a security blanket. Yet another hit from Hanna-Barbera, the show was created by Craig McCracken and ran for 6 seasons. It was warmly received by critics who praised it as a show that transcended age, appealing to both kids and adults. While it's often considered a girl power cartoon, the fun and inclusive approach to action attracted boys as well. A global hit, the Powerpuff Girls was ranked number 13 in TV Guide's 50 Greatest Cartoon Characters of All Time and number 18 in IGN's Top 25 Primetime Animated Series of All Time. The show also won 2 Primetime Emmy Awards for Outstanding Individual Achievement in Animation. Dexter's Laboratory. Cartoon Network's highest-rated original series in 1996 and 97, Dexter's Laboratory has a pretty simple premise. It's about Dexter, a spectacle-wearing genius prodigy who hides a secret lab behind his bookcase. Dexter's mom and dad have no idea about it, but his sister Dee Dee often finds her way in and constantly antagonizes him. Dee Dee is the exact opposite of Dexter. She's dim-witted and extroverted, but she often ends up helping him in her own chaotic way. A talented ballet dancer, Dee Dee was described by the show's creator, Genndy Tartakovsky, as the life and spirit of the show. He also mentioned that the show was inspired by his own sibling dynamic with his brother Alex, who was a scientist. The show went on to inspire many spin-offs, children's books, toys, video games, and comic books. However, it was plagued by 2 major controversies. An episode from Season 1 titled Dial M for Monkey, Barbecuer, was removed from circulation without any official statement. Many assumed it was due to the portrayal of a stereotypical homosexual character. Another episode from Season 2, called Rude Removal, featured evil clones of Dee Dee and Dexter who spewed cuss words. Despite the curse words being censored, the episode was pulled from circulation. Thanks to popular demand, it was eventually uploaded on Adult Swim's YouTube channel in 2013. The problems Dexter faces, despite being a genius, are both relatable and funny. His relationship with Dee Dee, their love-hate sibling rivalry, remains evergreen and makes for a consistently entertaining cartoon watching experience. Courage the Cowardly Dog. John R. Dilworth submitted an animated short titled The Chicken from Outer Space to Hanna-Barbera's showcase, What a Cartoon, in 1996, and it knocked viewers' socks off. The short was nominated for an Academy Award, and Dilworth was given a full series, which soon became Courage the Cowardly Dog. The show stars the ironically named, easily frightened dog Courage, voiced by Marty Grabstein, who was orphaned after a mad scientist sent his parents into outer space. He's adopted by Muriel Bagg, voiced by Thea White, who lives in an isolated farmhouse in Kansas with her cranky, fear-mongering husband, Eustace. Courage's family is constantly plagued by paranormal creatures, and it's up to him to protect them. This cult favorite cartoon is a wonderful blend of comedy, horror tropes, and genuinely heartwarming storylines. Despite experiencing the worst shocks of his life, Courage continues to face his fears for the love of Muriel. Surreal and sometimes even scary, Courage the Cowardly Dog is a one-of-a-kind show that teaches us all about bravery for the sake of those who matter most. It's no wonder it was listed at number 5 in Entertainment Weekly's 10 Best Cartoon Network Shows. SpongeBob SquarePants. Stephen Hillenburg, a marine biologist and teacher, once created an educational comic to teach his students about undersea life. Though the comic remains unpublished, it eventually evolved into the animated show we now know as SpongeBob SquarePants. Premiering on May 1st, 1999, SpongeBob SquarePants has had a chokehold on modern pop culture ever since. Everyone knows the answer to the question, who lives in a pineapple under the sea? And the memes it has spawned are innumerable. Fresh off its 2025 Kids' Choice Awards victory, SpongeBob SquarePants is currently in its 16th season. It's the 4th longest-running American animated series of all time and has grown into a full-blown multimedia franchise. If you've never watched SpongeBob, now's the time to start. The show is fairly straightforward, following the enthusiastic and ever-optimistic SpongeBob as he navigates life as a fry cook at the Krusty Krab, a fast food restaurant. Along with his best friend Patrick Star, a well-meaning but dim-witted starfish, he constantly annoys his neighbor, Squidward Tentacles, a grumpy squid who just wants some peace. Other recurring characters include Mr. Krabs, the greedy owner of the Krusty Krab, Sandy Cheeks, an adrenaline junkie squirrel from Texas who wears an air-filled diving suit to survive underwater, Plankton, a one-eyed copepod and Mr. Krabs' rival, and Plankton's robotic wife, Karen. SpongeBob SquarePants is a show that offers something for everyone. Younger viewers enjoy its innocent humor and whimsical adventures, while older audiences appreciate its clever wordplay, innuendos, and sharp pop culture references.
Down to zero, he's our powers magnified.
Captain Planet and the Planeteers. When the world suffers from ecological turmoil, the spirit of the Earth, Gaia, decides to take the planet's future into her own hands. She can no longer stand by and watch it be destroyed. She distributes 5 magical rings imbued with the powers of fire, wind, water, earth, and heart to 5 capable young people, Wheeler, Linka, Guy, Kwame, and Ma-Ti respectively. When they combine their powers, they summon the Earth's greatest champion, the one and only Captain Planet. Together, they battle eco-villains who promote their selfish agendas at the expense of the Earth's well-being. This is the crux of Captain Planet and the Planeteers, a show created by Ted Turner and Barbara Pyle in 1990. The show was especially well-made, with a star-studded voice cast including Whoopi Goldberg, LeVar Burton, Kath Soucie, and Scott Menville. Though you might assume from the name that the show deals solely with ecological issues, Captain Planet and the Planeteers also touch on a range of serious topics, including the AIDS crisis, drug abuse, and overpopulation. In fact, it became the first American animated TV show to address the HIV pandemic through the episode A Formula for Hate. The creators didn't just talk the talk, they walked it too. They insisted that toys made for the show be produced sustainably. The show even led to the creation of the Captain Planet Foundation in 1991, which funds young innovators working on environmental projects. A show like this is needed now more than ever as we continue to deplete Earth's resources and edge closer to environmental catastrophe. Ed, Edd, and Eddy. One of Cartoon Network's longest-running and most successful shows, Ed, Edd, and Eddy centers on 3 boys who share variations of the same name, Edward. But while their names are similar, their personalities couldn't be more different. Ed is the strong but kind-hearted one, Ed, or Double D, is the neat freak and brainiac, and Eddy is their arrogant get-rich-quick leader. Danny Antonucci, an adult cartoonist, was dared to create a children's show. Ed, Edd, and Eddy was the result. Nickelodeon initially agreed to produce the series, but only on the condition that Antonucci would relinquish creative control. He declined and instead took the project to Cartoon Network, where the show found its true home. During its run, Ed, Edd, and Eddy won the Reuben Award for Best Television Animation, as well as Leo Awards for Best Director and Best Musical Score in an Animated Production. Often called the Children's Three Stooges, the show stands out for its distinctive animation style, exaggerated expressions, and bold, wiggly lines. It tackles timeless themes like growing up, childhood friendships, and peer pressure. With its endearing characters and zany humor, Ed, Edd, and Eddy is bound to make you laugh more than you'd expect. Daria. One of the most realistic teenage girls ever animated, Daria Morgendorffer is a smart, cynical high schooler whose best friend is Jane Lane, a fellow outcast and aspiring artist. The eponymous show Daria follows her life during her final years of high school, culminating with her college acceptance after graduation. Things get complicated when Jane's boyfriend, Tom, enters their social circle. Daria is initially cold towards him, fearing that Jane is drifting away, but eventually, Daria and Tom grow closer, so close, in fact, that they end up kissing. The TV movie, Is It Fall Yet?, explores the emotional fallout of this event, which carries over into Season 5. Initially, Daria appeared as a recurring character on Beavis and Butthead, created by Mike Judge. Wanting to appeal to a female audience, MTV offered a spin-off to Glenn Eichler and Susie Lewis-Lynn, and Daria was born. The show ranked number 41 on TV Guide's 50 Greatest Cartoon Characters of All Time, number 4 on IndieWire's Best Animated Series of All Time, and number 91 on Variety's 100 Greatest TV Shows of All Time. If you're into sharp-tongued female protagonists who don't sugarcoat anything, Daria is a must-watch.
Thunder, 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 thunder,
ThunderCats! The distant planet of Thundera is home to humanoid cats known as the Thunderans. As the planet begins to die, the ThunderCats, Thundera's nobility, are forced to flee and head for a nearby world called Third Earth. En route, they're attacked by the mutants of Plundar, who destroy all ships except the flagship in an effort to seize the Sword of Omens. This mythical blade holds the Eye of Thundera in its hilt, the source of the ThunderCats' power. Protected by the Eye and under the guidance of Jaga, the eldest ThunderCat, the group reaches Third Earth. When they arrive, the young lord of the ThunderCats awakens from his stasis pod to discover that it's slowed his aging. He's now an adult in a child's body. The ThunderCats begin building a home on Third Earth, but the mutants return. This time with a new ally, the sinister Mum-Ra, who seeks the Eye of Thundera to rule the planet forever. Who will triumph, the noble ThunderCats or the evil Alliance? You'll have to watch this show to find out. Created by Tobin Wolfe and Leonard Starr, ThunderCats is an epic blend of science fiction and fantasy. IGN ranked it 49th on its list of top 100 best animated TV shows. The show promotes values like friendship and perseverance, all wrapped in an action-packed, visually engaging narrative. It's a must-watch if you enjoy catchy theme songs and memorable villains.
There it is!
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The Japanese ninja dynasty known as the Foot Clan is full of skilled martial artists. One of its respected leaders, Hamato Yoshi, descends from the clan's founders. His student, the greedy Oroku Saki, frames him for disrespecting a visiting sensei, leading to Yoshi's disgrace and eventual relocation to New York City. There, Yoshi lives in the sewers accompanied only by rats and 4 turtles he adopts as pets. One day, a strange glowing substance in the sewer mutates the turtles into humanoid forms and transforms Yoshi into a humanoid rat. The turtles name him Master Splinter, and in turn, he names them Leonardo, Donatello, Raphael, and Michelangelo, after his favorite Italian artists. Splinter trains them in ninjutsu, and together, they become the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, battling the evil Saki, who now calls himself Shredder and seeks world domination. The American animated series Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is based on the comic books by Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman. While the show's plot diverges slightly from the comics, it remains thoroughly entertaining. Voice actors Townsend Coleman, Rob Paulson, Cam Clark, and Barry Gordon brought the 4 badass turtles to life, winning over fans and critics alike. Ranked number 55 on IGN's Top 100 Best Animated TV Shows, this series ran for an impressive 193 episodes. With detailed storytelling and non-stop fun, this is a classic cartoon you don't want to miss.
Because he's just Pooh Bear, Winnie the Pooh Bear.
The New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. In the 1920s, British authors A.A. Milne and E.H. Shepard created the world of Winnie the Pooh, inspired by Milne's son, Christopher Robin Milne, and his childhood toys. The popularity of the books eventually led Disney to adapt the stories into a television series. The New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh features Christopher Robin and his 9 friends, Eeyore the donkey, Owl, Tigger the tiger, Pooh the yellow bear, Piglet, Rabbit, Gopher, Kanga the kangaroo, and Roo her Joey. Aimed at young children, the show helps its audience distinguish between fantasy and reality while emphasizing values like friendship, honesty, persistence, and responsibility. With no villains and plenty of gentle humor, this is a rare feel-good cartoon. Though based on the books, the creators made sure not to lift storylines directly from them, choosing instead to create original plots with an Americanized tone. Writers were also encouraged to approach the episodes from a child's perspective. Running from 1988 to 1991, the show is a testament to the timelessness of its characters. While adults might not learn new moral lessons from its simplicity, they will find joy in its nostalgia and comforting charm. If you or your kids have had your attention spans hijacked by flashy reels and TikToks, we prescribe 1 hour of the New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. Gargoyles. Gargoyles are mystical nocturnal creatures that turn to stone during the day. In the year 994, a clan of gargoyles led by the noble Goliath sleeps in stone form within a Scottish castle. Tragically, the humans they had vowed to protect betray them, leading to the destruction of most of the clan. The survivors are cursed to remain in stone until the day the castle rises above the clouds. 1,000 years later, billionaire David Xanatos purchases the ancient castle and orders it reconstructed atop the eerie building, his New York skyscraper. unknowingly breaking the curse. Awakened in a modern world they don't understand, Goliath and his clan must adapt to life in 1990s New York City. Thankfully, they find an ally in Elisa Mazza, a compassionate police officer. Their challenges are far from over, as they face supernatural threats and the manipulations of Xanatos himself. Gargoyles quickly gained a loyal fan base due to its darker tone and incorporation of mythology, folklore, and Shakespearean drama. In 2009, it earned a spot on IGN's Top 100 Animated Series list. If you think Disney only produced bright, cheerful cartoons, Gargoyles might change your mind. It combines Disney's high production values with emotional depth, tragic plots, and gripping action, making it a hidden gem well worth your time. Real monsters. You might not know it, but in New York City, monsters live alongside humans. 3 young monsters, Crumb, a brownish hairy troll who carries his eyeballs in his hands, Ickis, a violet-colored imp, and Oblina, a striped black and white monster, attend a school under a city dump that teaches them how to scare humans. Crumb often loses his eyeballs as they aren't fixed to his body and uses his unbearable stench as his scare tactic. Ickis has big shoes to fill, as his father is the famous scarer Slickus. The brain of the group, Oblina, is a skilled shapeshifter who transforms into terrifying forms to scare humans. The headmaster of the school is a green-blue Nessus-like creature named Gromble. Their hijinks make up the show Real Monsters. Created by Gabor Ksupo, Igor Kovyalov, and Peter Gaffney, Real Monsters aired on Nickelodeon from 1994 to 97. Though the show is somewhat graphic, it's an enjoyable watch that will have you rooting for these monstrous misfits in no time. Hey Arnold! The everyday adventures of 9-year-old Arnold Shortman in the fictional city of Hillwood form the core of Hey Arnold. His friends include Gerald Johansson, a street-smart kid, and Helga Pataki, the classic schoolgirl who hides her love for Arnold behind a wall of bullying. Arnold lives with his grandparents, Phil and Gertrude Shortman, who run the Sunset Arms boarding house. Throughout the show, Arnold solves problems for the tenants and investigates local myths and urban legends. Created by Craig Bartlett, Arnold was originally a minor character in Pee-wee's Playhouse. Eventually, Bartlett wrote a pilot that Nickelodeon picked up. Hey Arnold focuses on the joys and trials of growing up with friends and a strong imagination. It was also praised for portraying cities as safe and welcoming places for children, a stark contrast to the crime-heavy narratives of most cop shows at the time. Though a spin-off about Helga's family, the Patakis, was considered, it never materialized. Hey Arnold is the perfect show if you're looking for something extraordinary and touching about ordinary people and everyday lives.
It's time for Animaniacs, and we're saying it's
Animaniacs! The Warner Brothers and the Warner sister Dot were once cartoon stars in the 1930s. Their zany antics got them locked away in the Warner Bros. Water Tower, where they remained until the 90s, where they broke out. The 3 siblings, just so you don't mix them up, are Yakko, the oldest and self-appointed leader who talks a mile a minute and is obsessed with women, Wacko, the middle child with an endless appetite and a magical gag bag, and Dot, whose full name is Princess Angelina Contessa Luisa Francesca Banana Fana Bobesca III. Good luck remembering that. Even though they're free now, they stick around the Warner Bros. Studio, crossing paths with various characters like the studio psychiatrist, Dr. Otto Scratch-and-Sniff, and the grumpy security guard Ralph. Produced by the legendary Steven Spielberg, Animaniacs ran from 1993 to 1994 and featured a slew of other characters, including Pinky and the Brain, lab rats with world domination plans, the Goodfeathers, a trio of mobster pigeons and a take on the Goodfellas, Katie Kaboom, a teen who transforms into a monster when things don't go her way, and the Hip Hippos, Flavio and Marita. Though aimed at kids, the show drew a significant adult audience, more than 1/5 of its viewership. Animaniacs won the 53rd Annual Peabody Award and multiple Daytime Emmys for music, animation, and original programming. While some of the references may feel a little dated today, Animaniacs remains thoroughly entertaining, especially when you catch all the jokes you missed as a kid. Doug! Doug Funny is an 11-year-old with a lot of talent. He draws, writes, plays the banjo, and cares deeply about animals. But he's also shy, gullible, and riddled with a fear of failure, which often keeps him from standing out. He records his life in a journal where he details everything from getting a bad haircut to learning how to dance. Doug lives in Bluffington, a town based on Richmond, Virginia, having moved there with his parents Phil and Theda, his sister Judy, and his dog Porkchop after his dad was transferred. Created by Jim Jinkins, the show premiered on August 11, 1991 and ran until January 2, 1994. A slice-of-life series, Doug explores everything from platonic and romantic relationships to bullying and self-esteem, basically all the problems an average 11-year-old faces. Premiering alongside The Ren and Stimpy Show and Rugrats, Doug didn't gain immediate fame. While those shows pushed the boundaries of children's programming, Doug remained quieter and sweeter. Though it might look like the plain Jane of Nickelodeon cartoons, Doug reminds us how to appreciate the simple, everyday joys of life and see the wonder in the ordinary. Rugrats! A show full of playful infants and toddlers, Rugrats premiered in 1991 and was created by Gabor Kasupo, Paul Germain, and Arlene Klasky. It gives you a peek into the world of brave and curious one-year-old Tommy Pickles and his friends, the eccentric twins Phil and Lil, his baby brother Dill, the timid 2-year-old Chucky, and spoiled and bossy cousin Angelica, as well as Chucky's stepsister Kimmy. Everyday things that adults overlook take on fascinating new meanings through the toddler's imaginative eyes. The dialogue is charmingly filled with mispronunciations and grammar slips, just as you'd expect from toddlers. Angelica often plays the villain of the group, being the oldest and delighting in mistranslating adult conversations and manipulating the younger kids. Through their playful adventures, the Rugrats learn a moral lesson in nearly every episode. The show was both a critical and audience favorite, going on to win 2 Daytime Emmys for Outstanding Animated Program. It also made history by becoming the first Nickelodeon show to receive a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. With well-developed and lovable characters, Rugrats is a must-watch if you've ever wanted to see the world through a baby's eyes. Futurama! Developed by Matt Groening of The Simpsons fame, Futurama follows the misadventures of Philip J. Fry, a pizza delivery boy who's accidentally cryogenically frozen and revived 1,000 years later on New Year's Eve 2999. In this strange new future, he reconnects with his distant relative, Professor Hubert J. Farnsworth, who owns the delivery company Planet Express. Philip lands a job as a cargo boy working under Turanga Leela, a one-eyed mutant and the captain of the Planet Express ship. He also befriends Bender Bending Rodriguez, a mischievous robot with a penchant for stealing, smoking, and drinking. Much like The Office, this show is a workplace comedy, only with spaceships and aliens. With an 82% approval rating, Futurama has won 6 Emmy Awards in categories including Outstanding Animated Program, Outstanding Individual Achievement in Animation, and Outstanding Voiceover Performance. With witty humor, clever science fiction, stunning animation, and strong voice acting, Futurama is a must-watch for anyone craving a smart and hilarious cartoon series. King of the Hill. Hank Hill is an honest, hard-working assistant manager at Strickland Propane in the fictional town of Arlen, Texas. He's a traditional man living in a modern world, often at odds with changing cultural values, but his unwavering sense of decency helps him connect with people in unexpected ways. His wife, Peggy, is a confident substitute Spanish teacher with minimal actual knowledge of the language. Their son, Bobby, goes to Tom Landry Middle School and defies expectations. He doesn't like sports, but he does love cooking. While Hank is initially baffled by Bobby's non-traditional interests, Peggy is fully supportive of their son's passions. Created by Mike Judge and Greg Daniels, King of the Hill ran for 13 seasons and is one of Fox's longest-running animated series with 259 episodes. The show featured celebrity guests including Johnny Depp, Michael Keaton, and Alan Rickman. With its down-to-earth humor, heartfelt moments, and subtle social commentary, King of the Hill beautifully captured small-town American life. If you're craving something grounded, thoughtful, and funny, this show should be next on your watch list. Honestly, it's one of my favorites. Marvelous Verdict! Animated storytelling is one of the most underrated and underutilized forms of media. But with this list, we hope we've given you plenty of cartoons to add to your binge queue. Did we miss any of your favorites? Let us know in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up and let us know. We'll be back soon with more awesome content tailored just for you. But until then, thanks for watching, stay safe out there, and have a marvelous day.